Welcome to Zolder in Belgium for the opening round of the Belgian Racing Car Championship 2014. The BRCC, in fact, is 3 championships rolled into one. There's the Endurance Trophy, the Endurance Cup and the Endurance Pro. And these are cars from the Endurance Trophy, cars from the GCV6 Cup. With the 43, it's Delapine and Raymond on the first row, next to the Pampel Razou BMW of Euro Racing. In the Cup category, it's the BMW of Stoffel and Rivas from DNF Engineering Curbstone. Lovely white Ferrari. Next to another Ferrari on the front row, the Thames Racing by Power Cars from Nicolas van Dierenhoek and Olivier van Oost. This Ferrari drives in the Pro category. A newcomer to the series with the very quick Frederik Vervisch and Nico Verdonk. And this is also a newcomer to the series on pole for the first race. Max van Splunteren, Maxime Soulet, who set the pole time, and Maarten Makelberge in the SRT Corvette. Impressive machinery there for the BRCC 2014. Impressive machinery and a big crowd, of course. The Belgian Championship again getting better with Maarten Makelberge on pole.
En nu de wedstrijd?
Zal afwachten worden.
Yeah, we'll have to see what will happen. It's a long race, 3 hours. We start from pole, but we want to get on the podium. But they will have to get past this duo. Frederik Vervisch and Nico Verdonk driving the Blancpain Endurance Series as well. This is Dutchman Xavier Maassen driving the Belgium Racing Porsche on 3rd on the grid, and reigning champion Bert Longin is 7th on the grid.
Als we de entry list zagen.
Every time we looked at the entry list, especially the last week, every time a car was added, we could put ourselves one spot back. We know we drive in another class, so it's the same thing as last year, so we will handle it.
Voor welke opdracht dat we staan. Vorig jaar was het eigenlijk ook.
The rolling start then, especially for the Audi, difficult conditions. The Audi driving in another spec, but it has a shorter pit stop time. 3 minutes 50 in the pits during the 3-hour race, and the other cars in the Pro category have to be 7 minutes, so that's not a small difference. Start and the rolling start with a good start from the Corvette. A cautious start from Fred Vervisch in the red Ferrari, and is Xavier Maassen going to the lead in his Belgian Racing Porsche. Let's drive with Vervisch in the curbstone Ferrari. Maassen getting on the inside in the first corner. The Aston Martin going wide. And Maassen slots in behind Van Splunteren. This is Frank Belien, the teammate of Longin and Kumpen. Cautious start for him as well. Good tactics from PK Carsport to give Belien the opening stint. That way Longin and Kumpen can recover afterwards. The Corvette leading from the Belgian Racing Porsche, then the Brussels Racing Aston Martin and the curbstone Ferrari. Leading in Pro, close racing, and the first 3-4 cars are creating a gap with the second Brussels Racing Aston Martin. Tim Verbergt at the wheel in 5th for the moment. And there's been an incident at the start with the BMW of Steve van Bellingen.
Steve, wat is er gebeurd?
Steve, what happened? Yeah, the Porsche behind me, it just hit me at the back of the car, and everything went. Retirement probably for the BMW, and a problem for the Porsche as well.
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
Well, I had a good start, but in the first, in the second corner, I was a bit surprised by the braking of the BMW, and I hit him in the rear. He spun and he hit me again on the side of the car, and the cooling was hit. And that's the end of the race for that Porsche as well. Belgium Racing Porsche now leading the Corvette, and Frederik Vervisch in the curbstone Ferrari has passed the yellow machine as well. Good fight for the lead here. Driving with Vervisch, who goes for the lead on the inside. And Vervisch has taken the lead in the 458 Italia of curbstone. Good opening stint from Vervisch, now leading from Maassen in the Belgium Racing Porsche and Van Splunteren in the Corvette. Creating a gap for Vervisch. Normally driving a McLaren in the Blancpain Endurance Series. Number 9 car, the Brussels Racing Aston Martin. And the other car, Brussels Racing, who won 5 out of 6 races last year, but has a smaller air intake this year, so a lot less powerful. And here's the Audi of PK Carsport, still in the hands of Balian. The 99 Porsche, still in second position, behind this car. First pit stop then. Frank Balian getting out of the car, Bert Longin getting in. Good opening stint from Balian. Decent lap times, 1:34, 1:35. And rather happy with his opening stint.
We moesten volgen, daarom ben ik ook...
Yeah, we had to follow the other cars. That's why I started, so Bert and Anthony wouldn't get into the skirmishes at the start. And now Bert and Anthony can make up the ground. I drove my lap times, 1:34, 1:35, so that went well. Pit stop then for SRT. Max van Splunteren getting out. Maxime Soulet with his James Hunt helmet getting in. And off he goes with that typical roar of the engine. Belgium Racing pit stop. The car that was in second position. Looking at the pit stop time now.
Hoe verloopt de wedstrijd tot nu toe?
How is the race going? Well, it goes well. We're running in front, but due to the BOP with the pit stops, I think the Audi has a slight advantage. Might be surprising. So we still have to wait what will happen. Now we have to push as hard as possible to create a gap, and we'll see what happens. Whatever happens, happens. Meanwhile, in the Cup division, there's a retirement for the 28 Curbstone Ferrari.
Yves, abandon, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
What happened? Well, I hit another Ferrari in the Jack Hicks corner, and it touched my front left wheel, and the suspension is damaged. We were fighting for the first place, so that's disappointing. Meanwhile, fight for the Cup lead between the Porsche of the Wouters brothers, with Koen Wouters now driving. But he's being chased by Olivier Van Oost in the Thames Racing Ferrari. And Van Oost is getting pretty close to the Porsche. Here he comes. Porsche slightly oversteering. Through the Bianchi corner towards the chicane. Van Oost might launch an attack on the Porsche here for the lead in the Cup division. There he comes, and Van Oost takes the lead, and another Ferrari is hitting third spot now. It's Curbstone Ferrari, the number 26. But Van Oost already has a big lead over the Wouters Porsche. Even though he makes a slight mistake there. Lucky to stay on the track here. Wouters still in second. But now fighting with the number 2 Ferrari of the Thiers brothers. Here it is, the Scuderia Monza Ferrari. Koen Wouters getting into the pit lane. Gives the car to his brother Chris. It's his first race in almost 3 years for Chris. Koen happy about his opening stint. I had a good start and I had Van Oost behind me. So we were leading the class. I think that's good. The Ferrari is quicker here, but I wanted to hold up him as much as possible. But I was really forcing the car, so I had to let him pass. And then I had a small flat spot and the car started shaking. And then the car started understeering, I think due to the tire pressure. And then problems for the 26 cars running out of petrol. And the Curbstone Ferrari has to be pushed into the pit lane. A lot of time is lost. But Carlos Rivas and Paul Stoffel can continue. Stoffel taking over the wheel of the Ferrari. Why did you stop here in the pit lane? Well, we ran out of fuel. I think we did a lap too many. They forgot to call me in. But we were very lucky because the light went on after a third of the track, so we were very lucky to get back into the pit lane. Here's the Hannover Racing BMW of Chris and Rob Verhoeven fighting with the Ginetta and contact there, coming out of the hairpin. Ginetta running in the trophy class. Now Moffat, BMW, the only touring car in the Cup division. Small contact there, not a lot of damage probably. And here it comes, now he can pass the Ginetta. The number 7 BMW of Christophe Van Pelle and Pierre Rizou, meanwhile in trophy. Had to let go the GCV6 competition cars. The 43 and 42 cars now in front of the trophy division. With father and son Van der Poel leading, Alexis Van der Poel and Eric Van der Poel being chased by the 43 of Gerald Delapine and Jeremy Raymond. And there's a spin. Was that the 42 car? I think it was. Meanwhile, in the Pro division, the Audi slowly edging towards the front. And Delapine and Raymond now fighting with the Euro Racing BMW. Not very much at ease, the BMW drivers. Pit stop now for the 43 of Delapine and Raymond. The front windscreen was filled with oil, as you saw. And pit stop for the number 7 as well. But apparently they're struggling with the tires on their BMW. You started in pole, but how did that go in the first part of the race? Well, not that good, because we had new set tires from Michelin. It was a lot softer and they don't really suit our car. The first 5 laps the car was really understeering, and then it changed to oversteer and it slid all over the place. So we lost 2-3 seconds to our ideal lap time. But now we had the pit stop. Everything went well there. Now Pierre-Yves is in the car, and we lost the cylinder as well, but the mechanics could solve it. Now we're trying to make up for the lost time. We hope we can get to the podium. That was it from part 1. See you after the break. Welcome back to Zolder for the opening round of the Belgian Racing Car Championship. This is the leading car, the Curbstone FMA Racing Ferrari. Now in the hands of Nico Verdonk, who has taken over from Fred Vervisch. 458 has a good lead over the competition. Here's Nico Verdonk. The car was only entered into the championship a couple of days before the start of the season. So it's a good surprise to see them up front. This is a 14 Lamborghini, the NSC Gallardo of Katzberg, Dubois and Verstraete. And the SRT Corvette trying to make up for lost ground, but it won't be easy to catch up with the Ferrari. A good field there, close fighting, and the Brussels Racing Aston Martins suffering a bit from that smaller air intake. Now around 5th and 6th place in the GT3 version of the impressive Vantage. Here's the other car, now with Frederic Bouvy at the wheel. Bouvy, driving a Porsche last year, has switched to Aston Martin. Coupen and Longin now making up for lost ground, well within the top 3 now, aiming for a podium finish and maybe even aiming for the win, because they have to stop 3 minutes and 10 seconds less than the car in front, for example. And that means that the other car should go quicker. And look at the speed of that Corvette on the straights. There's no way the Audi could overtake them there. Going for a pit stop might be the wisest tactic then. Everything going smoothly for PK Carsport, but now the Audi and the Aston behind the Corvette. It'll be hard to overtake the Corvette because of its straight line speed. Frederic Bouvy trying to rejoin that fight as well. He goes for a pit stop then. Bouvy getting out of the car. And he knows what the troubles are for the Aston Martin. Well, last year they almost won every race and they were quicker than everybody else. They received a smaller air intake, and that means that the engine can breathe less and it's a lot less powerful. So we lose a second over a lap, so now we're 6th, 7th, and it's impossible to be in front. And the same goes for the other Aston Martin, of course. Damien, what happened here during this first race? Well, we're a bit frustrated. The intake is reduced from 34 to 32 millimeters, and that causes a very power problem. Our car is a lot less powerful than the others. It's impossible to overtake the Audi, for example. I've been behind it almost all the time, and we have to stop 3 minutes more, so that's a problem. Problems as well for the Frank Thiers Ferrari. Scuderia Monza running in the Cup division. Losing ground due to braking problems apparently. Still in the running for a top 5 finish though. The 98 Belgium Racing Porsche driving in Cup as well, in the hands of the youngsters Van Haren, Hogaars and Hoevermans. And this is that leader in that Cup division. The Thames Racing Ferrari of Van Hooydonk, Van Oost and Van Dierendonk. Here is Nicolas Van Dierendonk driving the car. The Zolder circuit suiting the Ferrari as well, apparently, in all in the Pro division and in the Cup division. Both divisions led by a Ferrari. Here's the Jerry de Weert Dodge Viper of Brass Racing, having a lot of problems during the race. Still the Thames Racing Ferrari creating a gap now, having a good lead over the 98 Belgium Racing Porsche and this Porsche of Koen and Chris Wouters, and third for the moment in Cup. And the Mosler of Gino Kenis and Chris Mattheus now in 5th, behind the curbstone Ferrari of Rivas and Stoffel, fighting here with the 98 Porsche of Belgium Racing. And there's another Ferrari of Jonckheere and Soenen, the Soenen Racing Ferrari in 6th in Cup division. Koen Wouters trying to make up for lost ground, defending against the Ferrari of the Thiers brothers, but their race would soon be over. Here's a pit stop, but retirement would follow soon.
Kurt, problemen met de auto?
What's the problem? Well, we came back to the pit when we were leading, but I felt that the brake pedal was going to the end, so I thought there was air in the braking system. But now we see the braking pads are completely gone. These pads should last for 8 hours, and we only have one set of those pads, and yeah, it's impossible to continue. The pads are completely gone, so we have to retire. Unfortunate then for the Ferrari of the Thiers brothers. That means the 98 Porsche gains a spot. In trophy, meanwhile, the Ginetta of Uberrecken and Lequeux is fighting in between the GCV6 Cups. It's the only car able to compete with the guys from the Cup. Prime Racing Ginetta for the moment fighting well with the 41 of Frank Radet and Karim Al-Azari, who's leading the Cup division, and who's of course also leading the GCV6 Cup, the Cup inside the Cup. He's the Yokohama Sky Limit Events Porsche in 5th in the hands of Jo Lammens, father and son Van der Poele, right in front of it in the trophy category. And the 43 car of Delapine and Raymond still fighting for podium honors as well within the trophy. Nice to see Alexis and Eric van der Poelen racing on the same car. 671 Ginetta in second for the moment in trophy. But this car is still leading. The 41 of Frank Radet and Karim Malazari dominating the trophy division for the moment. Back to the Cup division with the 26 Ferrari of Rivas and Stoffel has now lost the podium finish in favor of the Porsche of Koen and Chris Wouters, the Max Racing Porsche. They won't take part in the next round of the BRCC due to their concert obligations. But here they can finish in third behind the Belgium Racing Porsche, driven by the youngsters Van Haren, Hogaars and Hoevenaars. But the win in a Cup division goes to the Thames Racing Ferrari of Olivier van Oost and Nicolas van Dierendonck, with a little help from their friend Jeffrey van Hooijdonk. A great way to start the season. In Pro Division then, the Brussels Racing Aston Martin finishes in fifth, right behind the Corvette, who lost a podium finish due to a safety car intervention at the end of the race. The 99 Porsche overtook them in those final stages of the 3-hour race. So it's a podium finish for the Belgian Racing Porsche. PK Carsport was aiming for the win, but due to that safety car intervention, Kumpen and Longin with their teammate Frank Berlien had to settle for second. It almost looked that they could win the race when the Curbstone Ferrari missed their pit stop time, but due to this last car's pit stop, only 7 seconds were added to the total pit stop time, and that was enough to be within the legal limitations. So Frederik Vervisch and Nico Verdonk take the first win of the Belgian Racing Car Championship, even though the race was shortened by 2 laps after the safety car intervention. A safety car which had to come out after a crash for the number 14 Lamborghini, and then the race was red flagged 2 laps from the end. So there was a slight confusion at the end for the drivers, but Frederik Vervisch was soon confident when he came into the pit lane that they did win the opening round of the Belgian Racing Car Championship, with the Audi PK Carsport in second and the Porsche of Belgium Racing in third. Vervisch coming into Parc Fermé and happy with his win.
Eerste wedstrijd, overwinning tevreden.
First race win, happy. Yeah, that was our aim to. Yesterday we were second on the start grid and we had a good race. That's the most important. At the end, a bit of a strange strategy. Yeah, there was a confusion with the pit stop time. So to be sure, we had the full 7 minutes. I did an extra pit stop on the safety car. Vervisch congratulated by Nico Verdonk.
Eerste wedstrijd en overwinning.
First race and a win, you must be happy. Yeah, very happy. It's a dream come true. Didn't you expect it then? Well, we had the best preparations possible. The car was good, but we still have to drive the race. So, and eventually everything went well. It's just unfortunate that Jeffrey was able to drive at the end, but otherwise everything went well. We're very happy. And also very happy is, even though he did not win, Anthony Kumpen, the reigning champion, second in Pro.
Anthony, raar einde van de wedstrijd.
Anthony, strange end of the race. Yes, I think nobody knew what happened here. It was a good intervention for the safety car. It was a heavy crash, so the safety car was needed. But I don't know where there was a red flag. The track was clear, so for me the 2 last laps could have been raced. But I don't know what happened right there. I can't see the race control, so maybe there was another problem. And the win in trophy for Frank Radet.
Tout s'est passé comme prévu.
Everything happened as planned. Yes, it was a great race. Karim made a good start, had a good start, and I was able to control the race after that. I knew that we would be better at the end of the race, so with faster cars behind us, but we were able to control the race. And the podium then for the 3 divisions. With the GC6 Cup of Radet and Alazari winning in trophy from Uber Reckenen, Lecoeur on the Ginetta, and father and son Van der Poele in 3rd. And the first champagne shower of the season. Winners in Cup. Van Dierendonck and Van Oost in the Thames Racing Ferrari, from the Belgium Racing Porsche, and the Waters brothers in Max Racing Porsche in 3rd. Receiving their first trophies of the season. And the first bottle of champagnes as well. And a great win in Pro Division for the newcomers Nico Verdonk and Frederik Vervisch on the Curbstone Ferrari, from Kumpen and Longin on the Audi and the Belgium Racing Porsche. And these guys have a lot more practice with the champagne bottles, as you can see. That was the end of the opening round of the BRCC. See you next time.